It's no secret to anyone with an IQ higher than 50 and a normal capacity for reasonable thinking that Glenn Beck is insane. But how insane is he? Let's take a look at this psychotic.
Dina, I've got some time and a camera. Why don't you stop by? No. Okay.
Well, welcome to the Glenn Beck program. I'm sorry, New York Times. I'm back. Anita, hi. Miss me? Tonight, here is the question I want to ask you. Who's the extremist here? The Tea Party goers who say crazy things like, stop spending money you don't have, or pay your taxes. Or I love this one.
Obama, Hitler, same thing. Obama's a Judas, a traitor to this country.
Or is the extremist this guy, that killed 13 while shouting Allah Akbar? Or I actually don't think we need to even go more than just that one.
Of course Glenn doesn't go any further, because then he has to mention extremist Tim McVeigh, former member of the United States Army who bombed his own country in an extremist act, and extremist Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who bombed his own country, an extremist.
Not all cultures are equal.
And religious extremist David Koresh.
Not all values are equal.
I've got my vote. I think he's the extremist. But those Tea Party goers, they want small government.
Abortion is a greater evil than taxes or slavery. But if we do not repent, will we not be judged? Have we already not been warned? 9/11, it was our warning.
I don't know how you do it every day and watch the news and just be like, yeah, wow, that was real. I don't know how you do it. Because I was about to have other organs just jump out of me.
Earl the Bronze to CNN's Glenn Beck. On Monday he announced, quote, I think there is a handful of people who hate America. Unfortunately for them, a lot of them are losing their homes in a forest fire today. Beck was promptly eviscerated for making jokes about people who were losing their homes in the California fires. Now he says, when you tune in and try to figure out whatever it is he's doing on that program of his, quote, you actually have to think, I might be making a joke. I'm pretty sure I was joking then. There's your problem right there, Sparky. We were complaining that you were making a joke, because that kind of joke reflects a big hole in your humanity. Go away and come back if you grow up.
Fascist, Nazi, fascist, Nazi, Nazi, fascist, Nazi.
So who came in and wait, and you saw him come in.
Yes.
There were no seats for Steve. He and his wife were separate. You are an investigative reporter.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're a reporter.
No, I am not.
So you check no facts at all, right?
No,
Well,
ma'am. I am a
facts.
commentator.
I'm just a guy who cares.
Oh my God.
No, this is so
I'm just a guy who cares an awful lot about my country.
We must reconnect with the things that are real, the things that you grew up knowing were true. They are true. The things our grandparents taught us, the things our grandparents taught us to never ever forget.
You can't get your agenda, so you unleash the hounds and point the fingers, and everybody is a racist. This guy is, I believe, a racist.
And we'll help each other, not because the government tells us to, but because we're Americans and we're neighbors.
Do you want to be called a racist? This guy is, I believe, a racist. Do you want to call somebody a racist? This guy is, I believe, a racist.
Who's the extremist here? The Tea Party goers who say crazy things like, stop spending money you don't have, or pay your taxes. Or I love this one.
I'd like to see a Christian in the White House is what I'd like to see.
So you don't think Obama's a Christian?
No, I don't. He's a Muslim.
You are a Democrat. You are saying, let's cut and run. And I have to tell you, I have been nervous about this interview with you, because what I feel like saying is, sir, prove to me that you are not working with our enemies. And I know you're not. I'm not accusing you of being an enemy, but that's the way I feel, and I think a lot of Americans will feel that way.
Who's the extremist here? The Tea Party goers who say crazy things like,
we're not afraid of Obama being Hitler. We're aware that he is taking this country in the same route that Hitler took them down.
The whole health care plan and the rationing thing and the decisions that are going to have to be made should this plan go through is Hitler-esque.
He doesn't understand that anarchy is the opposite of totalitarianism. He thinks fascism he doesn't understand fascism is left-wing, totalitarian government.
Get a picture, she won't give us her last name!
Oh, I'm totally not with Acorn. You're freaking crazy.
Who are you with? If you're not with Acorn, why won't you tell us your name?
Yeah, who you with? Because you threatened our journalist.
How did I threaten your
You told her
journalist?
if you didn't, yeah.
Oh,
You told her if you didn't like her story, you would come and find her.
If I didn't like her
That's
story,
a
what did I
threat.
say?
You would find
Why
her.
don't you play it back? What did I say, Mr. Cameraman? Why don't you use facts? Why don't you use facts? You don't like facts? Is that the problem?
What will you say to the rest of the world?
Welcome to facts. The rest of the world, I'd like to say, America is the greatest country on earth. Today I've spent the day with 2 million of the greatest Americans. Thank
You know the old saying, if you put a frog into boiling water, he's going to jump right out because he's scalding hot. But if you place the frog in lukewarm water and gradually raise the temperature, the frog won't realize what's happening and die. Let me get the frogs. Okay. All right. So you have the little frogs. You have the little frogs here. Barack Obama has galvanized the country because of the sheer size of the bills he's proposed and the number of the bills, the urgency that he's been placing on the bills. He's forced us to think and get involved.
So Glenn Beck is upset by Barack Obama because he's forced people to actually become involved in their government, which is supposed to be of, for, and by the people. Obviously, Glenn Beck's head has assorted soft spots on it.
We have, not like John McCain, been boiled slowly. We have been tossed quickly into boiling water. And don't forget, what happens when you throw them in? When you throw them in, frogs into boiling water, okay, forget the frog.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture.
You can't say he doesn't like white people. David Axelrod's white. Rahm Emanuel's his chief of staff are white. I think 70% of the people that we see every day are white. Robert Gibbs is white.
I'm not saying that he doesn't like white people. This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people. This guy is, I believe, a racist.
People all around the country today have been called insane, lunatics, extremists. But we are not insane or extremists or anything like that.
Obama, Hitler, same thing. Obama's a Judas, a traitor to this country.
I'm sorry. I just love my country, and I fear for it.
Sarah Palin. Here's an incredibly accomplished, smart, powerful woman who, beyond all of her talents, has something it seems like no politician possesses: perspective.
You can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
2 days before the 4th anniversary of 9/11, Glenn Beck, Mr. Spirit of 9/12, went on the radio and said, quote, "You know, it took me about a year to start hating the 9/11 victims' families. It took me about a year. And when I see a 9/11 victim family on television or whatever, I'm just like, oh, shut up. I'm so sick of them because they're always complaining."
I'm a freak show, a religious nut job, hysterical, a cult leader, a shameless opportunist, a political operative for who? I'm full of crap. That one. Delusional, hard right, idiotic, thick-headed, spineless coward. I love that. Crybaby, that one they probably have me on. And I'm just a fear-mongering whatever. Story. There's a new investigation now that says an estimated 90,000 Americans are infected every year by an explosive new drug-resistant superbug disease. Panic. Real story is that if you want the end of the world, we're all going to die, everything's on fire, fear-mongering, then move on, people. Go go someplace else, because I am turning in my badge. I can't take it anymore. Our country's capital is moving to frickin' Mexico City. We've got Stalin in a pantsuit running for office. Our current president is referencing World War III and nobody's paying attention. Our schools are helping 6th graders with their sex life. And you want me to be worried about washing my hands more often? You know what? At this point, I don't even care anymore. Bring on the damn superbug. Kill me now, it would be a blessing.